Hello, this is Deborah with Black Education TV. As we go around seeking the approval of man in every aspect of our lives, I think most of us forget that there is someone watching all of us. He knows the thoughts and intents of every man and woman's heart. He knows. And I think we forget that. It's almost as if we have been left alone in this world. Kind of like children that are left alone. Think of children that may have been left alone. And they don't know what time their parents are coming back. All they know is, I have this instant freedom because there is no one watching. No one watching. But they don't realize someone is watching. Always have. And he is taking notes. He is indeed taking notes. And again, he sees the thoughts and intents of every man's heart. Whether those thoughts are good or bad, he knows. He says, I know your thoughts are far off. In other words, he knows what you were thinking before you even had the thought formulate in your mind. He already knew what the thought was going to be. But I think that because of this length of time, his mercy seems to stick out in our heads. So much so to the point where we forget about his wrath. We forget about his judgment. We forget about his anger because we're so fixated on his mercy. When you become fixated on the mercy of the Most High, you go about and you do whatever you want to do. And you think that he is not watching and that it's not going to be counted against you. If you consider your own thoughts and you analyze your own thoughts on a daily basis, would you honestly say that they are not lining up with the Most High's thoughts? It's already been established in his word that our thoughts are not his thoughts and our ways are not his ways. He's letting us know, you don't act like me, you don't think like me. My thoughts are far above yours, but I know yours are far off. See, we think we know the mind of Yah, but we don't. This is why we go about doing the things that we do happily, without consequence. We think that he is not going to see and understand and analyze, discern, or punish for the things that we do in this earth. This is why you have men going about establishing war in every land that they go into. You have people doing this, that, and the other to each other. You have people who steal, kill, destroy. All kinds of things are happening. But don't think for one moment that the Most High is only paying attention to what we call the heavyweight stuff. There are some, what we would consider lightweight things that the Most High probably frowns on just as much as some of those things that are considered heavyweight. See, that's the problem, is we like to rank sins according to how we feel about them. The Most High have some things that he cannot stand. And I think a lot of us know what some of those things are. But we are so busy with the cares of this life that we slip right into some of those things. We're like, oh no, he's not really paying attention to this. He got too many murderers and too many thieves and too many robbers to deal with. This is how the human mind thinks. But we don't consider for one moment that hatred. See, we think that is something, oh, I hate this person, I have a reason for it, whatever. I don't like the way she looks. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he walks or the way she dresses. Whatever thing we formulate in our mind as the reason why we hate someone. And so we get fixated on these things because we get fixated on the big things because we don't see what we do as that bad. We don't see it as that bad. It's not that bad. Well, I just told a few lies on this person. Oh, that's not so bad. Telling a few lies is not as bad as someone who goes and robs a bank. See, this is how the mind thinks. But one thing you have to understand is the scripture actually talks about how the Most High himself, the one who we all claim to love and worship, the Most High has unleashed spirits upon this earth whose sole purpose is to deceive the hearts of man and to wreak havoc upon this earth. That's what their purpose is. Their purpose is to do exactly what they're doing, is to deceive. And they're going about doing that because so many people are so deceived that they think they can do whatever they want to do. They can live however they want to live, be however they want to be, and that there will be no consequences for the deeds done in their bodies. I mean, there's a consequence to everything. Think about it, whether good or bad. If you take care of your body and eat good, you're going to feel a whole lot better than the person who did not take care of their body and did not eat good. So the consequence of good eating is going to be a healthier body, right? On the flip side of that, the consequence of bad eating is going to be bad health. You see? Now let's look at that spiritual diet. So many of us are so very religious that we think that reading the Bible without understanding is better than nothing. But when you get in the Word and you start analyzing things and you start misquoting scriptures and establishing your own righteousness, going against the will of the Most High, and putting yourself in a position where you are leaning to your own understanding, there are consequences for that too. That's called a bad spiritual diet when you get in the Word and you start establishing your own righteousness. The children of Israel were known for that. They would establish their own righteousness, and they would do what was right in their own eyes. And as a result of that, as a result of those actions, there was punishment from the Most High Yah. Right now, especially here in America, many of us feel that things are just calm and normal. Nothing too much going on. We look at other countries that are in turmoil and we say, oh, how unfortunate they are going through this over there. Oh, but life is good and life is grand over here. We feel like things are just never going to change from its present state. We feel like we're never going to have to answer to anyone for anything. The mindset is there. And it is there because there is a deceiving spirit that has gone out into the world. And it has mankind right where it wants it. And the children of Yah who do not heed to his word, because he says, my sheep hear my voice and another they will not follow. He's letting you know that his sheep won't follow another voice. So if you have followed another voice, you are not his sheep. You have to find out who you belong to if you're out here following other voices. The Most High knows that his sheep are going to do the right thing. But these spirits that are out here deceiving people, they also know. They look at the actions of a person. They look at what they're able to cause a person to do, how they're able to manipulate a person to determine who this person belongs to. Now, I will say this much. The scripture says, who you yield your members to, that's whose servant you are. Now, although you may be a bloodline Israelite or whatever, our people have been known to go after other Elohims, or hear or heed to the voices of other Elohims, and follow after the customs of the heathen, follow after the ways of the heathen. Our people have been known to do such things. And the reason why we are not finding our way back to our fathers, because we are still listening to those other voices. Many times you will find our people doing things, and a lot of it, they try to do it in the name of Yah as if they think they're doing something righteous. But the Most High, He keeps reminding us. He says, your thoughts are not my thoughts. Your ways are not my ways. See, the scripture says it's impossible for the Most High to lie, right? It's impossible for Him to lie. So if you have a lying tongue or a lying spirit or a deceptive spirit that's on you, you didn't get that from the Most High Yah. The scripture says that Hashatan is the father of all lies. You see? And so we must consider these things. Whatever spirit that is in you, you have to make sure that that spirit or that Ruach lines up with the fruits of Yah's spirit. You understand? Because there are many spirits that have gone out into the world. And sometimes I don't think we truly understand what that means when the scripture talks about spirits. You have good spirits and bad spirits. You have spirits that are of Yah, spirits that are of demons, and you have spirits that are of men. And some spirits that are just ways that a person may have or pick up. And the reason I wanted to mention spirits that are of men, because remember, in scripture, Elisha asked for a double portion of Elijah's spirit. He said, I want a double portion of your spirit. So he wasn't asking for a spirit of Yah or anything like that. He said, I want a double portion of your spirit, Elijah. You see. So there are spirits, many kinds of spirits. A person can have a sweet spirit. A person can have an angry spirit. A person can have a bitter spirit. A person can have a lying spirit or a contentious spirit. There are all kinds of spirits. A person can have a wicked spirit or a set-apart spirit. You know, spirit is Ruach, okay? There are many spirits. Now, what kind of spirit do you have in you, or spirits? Do you have good spirits in you, or do you have wicked spirits? I think most people know what they have in them. Most people know. But because there is a lack of fear of the Most High Yah, some people allow themselves to fester in wickedness. They allow those evil spirits to be planted inside of them and to grow inside of them. This is why the word says, let a man examine himself. Most will not examine themselves. And there lies the problem. Because we will not examine ourselves, wicked spirits are allowed to take over. And so what is the solution, family? Check your spirit and make sure they are of Yah. Because if they are not, you will be destroyed. And with that, I will say shalom.